Hello, welcome. Hello to everybody in the chat. Fabulous to see you here. Welcome, everybody. If you're new to my channel, I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we recap the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. And oh my goodness, there is so much to get through today. And it has been crazy. Lots happening actually all over the country, and we're going to get into it. Thank you so much to my mods for being here. I know Nancy's here, and I do believe my Tony is here as well. If you have a question, put the word question in capitals and have your question follow. The super chats automatically get starred, and I can also see member comments. I think those get starred too, but anyways, put question in all caps, however you do it. Thank you so much for being here. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel, check your subscribe button, and like this video on your way in so we can get some notifications out, let the people know that it is happening, and it is happening right now. Okay, first, I just want to welcome a few people. Allie's mom, thank you so much for becoming a member to the channel. If you just became a member, which I think you did, go ahead and check out some of our member content that we shared, just some behind the scenes stuff with Tony and I. Bodes Beaches, thank you so much for becoming a member. Hip, hip, hooray for all of you, by the way. The Nona Boss, Audits and Investigations. I love that name. Thank you so much for joining, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you. All right, so here's what we're going to kind of get into today. Scientology has unlocked new characters in their efforts to intimidate protesters, but there's one man we keep seeing all over the world, and people, I just realized who that was yesterday. Other people have known, but I did not know that it was this person from my past, and I'm going to share that. We're also going to talk about how Scientologists tried to unlawfully attempt crowd control in Chicago. It was next level ridiculousness. It was so bad that at one point I'm like, I'm embarrassed for you that you're doing this and upsetting local students and people, because that's not your place. That's not your place. We're going to talk about how Scientology hired goons assaulted an elderly man. We're going to talk about how Jessica Palmadessa and LA Cam were swatted in the Hollywood Hills, and other Scientology protest news from around the country. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we are going to talk about all of it. All right, so let's see. Let's start it out. We're gonna start it out in LA, in Hollywood, at the protest happening there on L. Ron Hubbard Way, where D.O.A. and Confident Chris, you're gonna be able to tell from my clips that I followed Confident Chris around yesterday. And I got so many emails from all of you about his different, who sent me different clips from his stream. So that is what we are going to look at. So we're going to start it off a little, kind of quiet and calm, and then we're going to go right into the craziness that happened yesterday. So this is at the Blue Buildings on L. Ron Hubbard Way. This is Confident Chris. I've got links down below to all the videos that we are going to be talking about. And let's just take a little look and a listen here, because Chris shows up. D.O.A. is there doing his chalk art. I love craft time. I love when they're doing the crafts. It just makes me happy. Let's give this a little look and a listen.
Do you want to do a hammock interview?
I think you already did one. I think we should save it for.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Let people process what they've seen. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Create a little lore to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little suspense,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That purple looks nice, man. It's got a little
Thank you, man.
terry cloth on it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it looks sharp.
Thank you. I bought it at Target.
You got it at Target?
Nice. Yeah.
Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, man.
Chris is
But
Spawn.
you've been here for a while, right?
Yeah, a couple hours.
Yeah. Check it out, guys.
DOA is making some signs, some honking signs. I thought that was super cool. Christina Perez, thank you so much for gifting a membership here to the channel. Super appreciate it. And then Chris goes down the street later, and he is by the big Scientology sign that's kind of like the most probably recognizable image of Scientology in Hollywood, is that big blue building and the big Scientology sign. And lo and behold, it's becoming a little bit of a tourist attraction for all the wrong reasons, which are all the right reasons. This I thought was hilarious. This is Confident Chris, who stumbles upon a couple of tourists doing their thing outside the Scientology sign.
You speak Spanish. When I go say, I just can't hold my smile, guys. That's all. Off the property. Yeah, as soon as I talk to them, it's off the property. Hey, ¿sí saben qué es Cientología? Una secta, ¿verdad?
So how funny is that? He talks to them and they're like, yeah, they totally know that it's a cult. They're just totally, they're trolling for the photo. I thought that was great. And it really says a lot about what people who are even visiting, who don't even live in the area, really think about Scientology. It really says it. It says it all. Now, last night, Jessica Palmadessa, and I believe LA Chem as well, were swatted in the Hollywood Hills. And Confident Chris, I believe, is this his stream? Caught a bit of that. And yeah, check it out. Check it out. This is Jessica in handcuffs.
Like if they didn't know who the fuck she was, man. What in the world? Bruh. Like if they didn't know who the fuck she was, man. What in the world?
I can't tell. Is that, who is that? I don't think that is LA Cam there. I'm not sure. If somebody knows who that is, I'm curious. Can you tell me in the chat or in the comments? So what we do have, though, is an update from Jessica on what happened in her own words and everything that happened with her car, because there was a lot that was going on, and she's going to explain it to us. Vintage Mama of 3, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Super appreciate it. Hip, hip, hooray. So let's take a look at this. We're going to take a look at Jessica here, who thankfully she is fine as you can be after an experience like that. It would have totally thrown me, but of course she's so chill about it. Check it out.
My car got towed. I had to pay like $500 to get that out with the tickets and the because they gave a ticket for the registration, a ticket for yeah, and then for parking where I did in front of the police station, and then also for obviously like the $325 for the tow, or yeah, $375 or whatever. And then I came here and got shotguns drawn on me, and yeah, had to sit in handcuffs that they put way too tight to my wrist, and it was freezing. Actually, is there a mark on my wrist? No.
So she is okay, and she got her car back, and it sounds like she had gotten the registration that she was accused of not handling, and that was verified. So I would suspect that she's got some complaints to file and is going to be fighting whatever should not have been a charge or a ticket or anything like that. But yeah, that's just crazy. And of course, right away, my first thought was, oh my gosh, her mother. Because her mom is one of her mods, and I'm sure watching, if she wasn't watching her stream when she wasn't able to stream, maybe catching Chris's, I just like, as a mom, just, but she's a grown woman. She knows how to handle herself, and she is very competent and smart young lady. And I'm glad that things worked out. That is horrible. Trevor Merritt, thank you so much for gifting 5 Scientology Life After Occult memberships. Hip, hip, hooray. All right. We're going to take a look now. We're going to jump over to Canada. And oh my gosh, in Toronto, there were protests going on recently over the weekend. And it was so impactful. And Kim McNeil shares a bit about her story. She was out there protesting, multi-generational Scientology family. She left, and she says a few things that just really hit me. Multiple, actually. You definitely should watch the entire interview that Jeff at PTS for Life did. But we're going to take a look at just a part of it, which really doesn't do it justice, but it gives you an idea. She's pretty amazing. All right, let's check it out.
Highlight was not that there wasn't another former kid in Scientology or former person, but that so many people are willing to come out who've never been in. That was so heartwarming just to meet these people. My husband's a never in, and these ladies and Marty never in. Like they've had a personality test 30 years ago or something, but never in. And what is how much they understood me. Yeah. They get it. That's the thing about the never ends and this outside of Scientology world is they get it. You know, they really get it. So that was, I think, as much as it just yelling like that, and not yelling, I wasn't screaming. I was projecting my voice.
That's a good way to say it.
And
I'm not
releasing.
screaming, officer. I'm projecting my voice.
Yeah. Well, no, because they weren't coming close enough for us to really engage.
You got to listen to the whole interview, but that is something that you will see that is pretty darn consistent in the ex-Scientologist community and definitely here on SPTV, how blown away we are by how all of you who've never been in Scientology get it, how you get it in ways more than we do, or at least I will speak for myself. A lot of you get it more than I do, and it helps me get it because I'm able to see it through your eyes. Someone who's never been in Scientology and see how ridiculous so much of it is and label the things as abusive that should have always been labeled as abusive. And I just love that that was her experience as well, going out there and protesting, how cathartic it was, the positive experience. And I just want to bring that to the forefront because all of you are making such a difference. And I just hope that you know that. I really hope that you know that, the difference it makes for so many of us. All right, here we are going to jump over. Where are we jumping? Okay. This bugged me to no end. There's a couple things happening here. One, Scientology seems to be turning to violence. I mean, I know we can name other instances of violence things that we highly suspect that they were involved in. So this is not like, oh, this is a new thing, right? But what we're seeing now at some of these openings is we're seeing actual Scientologists coming out there and trying to be security and trying to do crowd control when they have no business doing it, not on a public street that is open to the public. And early on yesterday, there was, and I'm actually sharing this from growing up in Scientology. Aaron makes some really good points about this. There was an older gentleman who's around 70 years old who has nothing to do with the protesters. He was walking down. Every Sunday, apparently, he goes to the same Dunkin' Donuts. As I understand it, I do believe that he's on the autism spectrum and was just going to do what he does every Sunday. And he was detained by hired Scientology goons, security. And there's a gentleman who's been showing up all over for these protests. And, well, let's watch it. And then we're going to talk about it. So let's see here. Take a look at this.
Yes, sir, he did.
Call the police.
This guy is 70 years old. They're claiming he battered someone. No one really seems to have any idea what they're talking about.
What are you trying to do?
Grab his hand.
He wants to go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Guys, those are not even the police arresting him. Those are the private security that Scientology hired.
You believe this? Assault! Somebody has to call the police. I'm filming, so I can't.
Assault! Call the police! Assault!
Stop it!
That lady, I believe, was a passerby. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know if she was a Scientologist coming out or just someone walking by, but she was equally outraged and disturbed by this.
Take your hands off of him right now!
Look how easily you could damage a shoulder there.
This is Scientology at their finest.
Yes, sir, he did.
There's so much more to the video. And it's honestly heartbreaking. They just completely assault this man, elderly man, who has nothing to do with what's going on. He's just trying to get to Dunkin' Donuts. And he ends up being detained by the police and taken away. I'm not sure what happened after that. My hope is that he did have family who were there that went and were able to get him. But here's the thing. There is, and we're going to show it in another clip, there about the guy who keeps showing up. I thought he was in that clip, but I think he's in the next couple. So we're going to share that. So in the rest of the clip, you hear Shannon yelling and other people yelling to let him go. And she's yelling at the guy we've seen at multiple events. And Aaron says his name is Shawn Ingallina. And Shannon pleads with him, you can stop this. You can stop this. And he doesn't stop it. He doesn't. He had it within his power to stop it and he didn't. And it makes me so incredibly sad because Shawn Ingallina was born into the Sea Org. I think I changed his diaper. I'm pretty sure he was in the same daycare as my daughter when I was sent to Seattle as punishment in the Sea Organization when I refused to terminate my pregnancy, when my husband at the time and I refused. There was another couple. She was my direct senior and her name was Tony Ingallina and her husband is Chris. That baby is Shawn Ingallina. That guy who grew up, who's now they're exactly the same age, him and my daughter. They're just months apart. Tony and I were pregnant at the same time in the Sea Organization, which was really bad. I think she was about maybe 3 months ahead of me. And I did not know this until as my senior, I shared with her that I was pregnant. And then, chaos broke out after that, where the pressures on me to try and terminate my pregnancy started and I refused. So we both ended up in Seattle and she had her baby who was Shawn and I had my baby, Shelby, and they were at the same daycare together. Not only did I change Shawn's diaper, Shelby bit him a couple times, as toddlers do. They were friends there in daycare. So it's incredibly disturbing to see that he went into the Sea Organization as someone who the Sea Organization, if they had their way, he wouldn't even exist. But there he is. Almost happened to my daughter, but I got her out of there. And just super disturbing. I've seen him. I've seen this guy. I've seen the pictures, but I've not seen Shawn since he was a little kid. I had no idea it was the same person until Aaron said his name. I went, oh my gosh. That's a little kid whose diapers I changed, who was with my daughter in daycare. And again, who Shelby bit a couple times because she was a biter back then. But disturbing. So we're going to look at more from Chicago. But it's just heartbreaking to me that this is his involvement and that he's actually was involved in that incident and could have stopped it and didn't. All right, we're going to look at some stuff. Let's see. This is from Selfless Self. Let's take a look at this.
No, it doesn't. It's a private event. No, it doesn't. The permit allows access for the public.
So this is the day after he'd already been protesting, and it sounds like he's actually losing his voice, but still going.
That is a lie. Name and badge number.
Camarillo 1687.
Name and badge number.
Commander Harris, 21.
This is meant to be open to the public today. That's what their permit says. It's meant to be a festival. That means anybody.
It's invitation only.
Yeah, baloney. That's not what the permit says.
You can say whatever you want to say.
Okay, we'll have the alderman down here today, and let's see if we can get you demoted because you're not doing your job.
Doing my job.
No, you are not. You are doing their job. 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 You're not following the law.
Today,
you're meant to be an officer of the law.
There, you go to jail. Simple as that.
Indeed, I know, but you're meant to be an officer of the law. The law and the permit is clear. It's clear, right? Is it?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
And that officer that we just saw too was one who was involved in an incident with Dany that we're going to talk about as well. And that Selfless Self who was there in Chicago for the protest, letting them know that that's not what your permit says. It is not what it says. Casey Cat, thank you very much for the super chat. He was so this is about the elderly man who was being assaulted. He was a 74-year-old autistic man who always gets Dunkin' Donuts on Sundays. He was charged with trespass and assault on a peace officer. His wife and daughter bailed him out. He was bruised all over. And Scientology could have stopped it, and they didn't. Just remember that. I think we're all going to remember that. We're going to remember a lot of things, but this is one in particular that really is like, okay, that's no. We are not standing for that. So let's take a look at, this is a clip from the list of names that were being read of children of Scientology based on Liz Gale's scroll that she did in California outside Celebrity Center. This was great. This happened a few times where the protesters read out this list. It was I know it impacts me every time. And see the bus tack, how they got the buses all set up. Remember too, they bus in Scientologists from all over. So they have people there, bodies there, people from out of state, all over. Check it out. And you see Dany and Leah are there from LA. They went out there to Chicago. And I believe that's Dodge Landisman there as well. He was a journalist that Scientology got fired because he dared to share that Lisa Marie Presley wanted to testify in the Danny Masterson case.
Children of Scientology, the cult.
I think Scientology and Shannon is there as well. They did that a couple of times, and I thought it was just great. Just great. I love that it's a list too that Liz Gale's continuing to work on. It's a list where there are more people, especially internationally, to add. But it is a list that we want to, once we get everybody on there, that it doesn't get any, well, let's be honest, it's going to get longer because the 20 to 40,000 Scientologists who remain are future ex-Scientologists, and many of them are the children of Scientology. So we know it's going to get longer, probably from quite a bit. But I love that they're doing that and they're making it known and they're sharing about it. Now, let's see. We're going to look at a clip here. By the way, I wanted to actually, you know what? I want to share something real quick. There's a link down below that you can take a look at for the information for the main guy, this Commander David Harris. This is a guy who threatened Dany with arrest, and I think someone else with arrest. He threatened Dany with arrest if he yells and told him that he can't yell. And we know, yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. Yelling is not using amplified sound. So this is one of the things that really made me go, what in the world are you thinking to Scientology? They used Scientologists to try to do crowd control and prevent the people, not public of Scientology, people who lived in the area from going down public streets. They were asking people for ID to prove that they live there and they should be there. None of this is okay. I am amazed that the Chicago PD even allowed this. Why weren't they there? Why? Because it should not have been shut down, right? We were told the permit was for a festival. It should be open to the public. But they put Scientologists there, and it was just the biggest foot bullet ever because all they did was anger the local people there. Scientology, it was said multiple times there that because how did they shut all this down? There's businesses there, right? They paid the businesses for that day of what they would have made in order to shut it down. But the students couldn't come and go freely. So what about them? So what ends up happening throughout the day, more students start to join the protests. More students become curious about what's going on here. Why is this being done? Why are we being questioned? Why can't I enter a parking garage where my car is? And Scientology, they just don't, they think they're above the law, completely think they're above the law and well within their right to do this. This is why they do dumb things like this. And this is why we're going to keep calling them out on it every single time. But look at that. Look at this foolishness. Check this out.
We're going to get any flows from this.
You all know it. Pay to play in Scientology. How much does it cost to go clear? Pay to play, people. How much does it cost to go clear?
These two, I suspect, I wonder if this is father and daughter. They kind of look a little bit alike.
Wrinkles in between your eyebrows.
How much does it cost to come back to your set? Where's LRH? Where's Lafayette? Where's Source? Where's your leader now?
Yeah. That's your favorite word, isn't it? I hope you hear it tonight when you go to sleep.
This is going to be my thumbnail. This is a great thumbnail.
Shame on you! And I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, you let him go through. How nice of you.
We're going to get any flows from this.
There was at one point, Melissa, who is the woman there, somebody played her part of Erin growing up in Scientology's video, and it did appear to impact her. As I understand it, they know each other. But this was just, again, like I said, it was one of the dumbest things that I've seen them do, and that's saying a lot because I've seen a lot of dumb things that Scientology has done. But apparently Melissa Cody is her name, and the other guy some people recognize from the Stan League, which is a Scientology front group to deal with people who are critical of Scientology. Ed Parkins from the Office of Special Affairs, Power Lies to Paralyze, is saying. It just was crazy. They would stop people. Some people I saw even just bust through who were like, no, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. I just could not believe that they were doing this. Christina Perez, thank you so much for that gifted membership. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Were any of you surprised? Because so far we've seen security, hired security, the occasional Office of Special Affairs goons, but this was next level. Turning people away, asking them for ID. Who do you think you are? This is a public street. This is what it's going to look like if Scientology takes over. Look at Clearwater, Florida. We see it thanks to the live streamers and protesters out there surrounded by Scientology. Farrell Cheryl, Lori Plays, Spit Clearwater, Magic Mike. And I know that there are more. We see what Clearwater looks like where Scientology took over. That's how it would be. Situations like this where they think they can stop people from going to their residence. Shannon was working to get in there because someone was meeting her who lived in the building and they wouldn't let her in. And then they let her in. And that is when, they didn't really let her in as much as she just went in. And was able to capture on video that gentleman, the older gentleman who was assaulted by hired Scientology security, overseen by a C organization member, Shawn Ingallina, who could have stopped it and didn't, and just let that happen. There's more of the video. I believe it's on Erin's channel if you want to see a lot of it. It's pretty disturbing. How do you watch that happen? How do you watch that happen? That one lady that was next to Shannon, I don't know if she was a Scientologist or just a passerby, but she was mortified, just mortified. And she was trying to help. And Shawn was saying, you don't need to help, or you're not here or telling Shannon she's not here to help you. He's always trying to control the narrative and the dialogue, which is part of what the Office of Special Affairs does. But it breaks my heart that that's what he's doing today. It's like, Shawn, do you know that you never would have been born if the Sea Org had their way? Do you know what your mom went through? A lot. Your parents, you should tell them the truth. Tell them what happened. Maybe it'll change his mind. Probably not. I don't know if they will. Selfless Self. He captured some pretty interesting things here in chatting with some college kids. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, and also some child sex abuse coverage.
They're like trying to recruit like college people.
Correct.
Yeah,
so they're going to go right after your peers.
gonna go right after your friends and you.
They've been like in the dorm building, like they were trying to sneak
Oh my God.
like getting people to get them into the building so they could walk around and like walk around.
Do you hear that? Scientology is sneaking into college dorm buildings. And these young ladies saw them do it so that they could get in and I don't know what. So we're doing that now, Scientology. We're trying to sneak into college dorms.
Oh my. Okay, so
Wow,
campus security needs to.
Like missionaries? Wow.
That's why the visitors are limited now because
That's
they were
hilarious.
Contact the
God,
administration.
wow.
Contact the administration. Tell campus security that is a violation of your safety. You cannot have them in your building. You need to alert the
Can't believe they were that ballsy
administration,
to do that.
and you need to
That's all
alert
the guff
campus
they give
security.
us.
They should never be allowed in the building.
Yep, they should never be allowed in the building. And I hope that those young ladies do that because what in the world? Again, what in the world? What are you doing? Do you think people aren't going to notice the Scientologists walking around, Office of Special Affairs, Scientology hired security, going into dorm, private residences of college students? They're not going to stand out like a sore thumb. What are you doing and why are you doing it? And they need to be called out on it because it's just ridiculous. Shannon, I'm going to share a little bit of a clip from Shannon, and so many of the protesters in Chicago work their butts off, completely work their butts off, have put up with a large amount of abuse, assault, verbally, mentally, and physically in Chicago this weekend. And they're just completely beat up. But here's the thing. It's not slowing them down. And that is the main part of why I want to share this from Shannon. And this woman just worked her butt off leading up to this and then at it as well. And it's taken a toll on her physically, but I love her spirit. Her spirit is incredible. Check it out.
I have skeletons in my closet. A lot of us do, but nobody's got skeletons like Scientology. This is not.
And she's saying that because she was talking about how Scientology, with their Office of Special Affairs, they're fair gaming, where they basically will find out like, oh, you something happened to you in your youth or your teen years or whenever. And they'll use that and try to tell law enforcement, oh, this is this person. This is what they do. This is who they are. And it's not true. I mean, some of the facts about it are true, but they twist the narrative to sound like you're this dangerous criminal.
Set me back an inch. I'm not going to give up. And Tuesday is going to be a big work day for me because we have lots of complaints to make and I want to make them all in person. So I will be fine tomorrow. I want you to know this is how my MS is. It flares. And I have SLE as well. So it's kind of when one flares, the other one does. That's the way it goes. So when it flares, it doesn't flare for long. So I'm not going to, I'm going to be fine. And when I left, everybody was happy.
Yeah. They went through the ringer, all of them out there, all of them. So the link's down below. Head over, subscribe, like their video, support them any way that you can, because what they did was incredible. What they stood up to is incredible. And what they're going to continue to stand up to is going to be as incredible as well. Casey Cat, thank you. Cult of Scientology paid off every business on the block more than they would make in a day to just close and not complain. What a great use of that tax exempt money. Maybe that's how they're saying that they're helping people in the community. We're paying businesses off to stay closed with that tax exempt money. DS Kitty, thank you for becoming a member. Hip, hip, hooray. Oh, infuriating these people. Seriously. All right. Another example of how Scientology, no matter what they do and they throw at people, what ends up happening? It just fuels their resolve even more. They become it makes people double down on protesting Scientology and wanting to expose them because they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot and make it worse. They completely do. And they have to, because that's what L. Ron Hubbard said to do. Shoot yourself in the foot. Not exactly like that, but his techniques and what he says to do does that. And here's someone who, Steph the writer, started off as a journalist, but after her experience, Listen to this.
I started this journey of being a writer, and today, after seeing just the crazy tactics that Scientology has gone through, I became a protester. I started this journey of being a writer.
She became a protester. Good job, Scientology. Do you know how many of these young people in Austin, in Chicago, at these colleges nearby are now going to protest Scientology, are going to raise awareness about it? And these kids are all over social media. And they're not afraid to use it. Many are going to. So well done, Scientology. Welcome to Chicago. Idiots. Okay, Denver. Let's hop over to Denver. Jay in Denver. And something really interesting happened there that he caught. And I'm so glad that he shared it on video. We are going to get a look at secret Scientology interrogation tactics. They're sharing something in Scientology that is called an interrog or an interrogatory, and it's done during a Scientology investigation. They want to find out who you've been talking to, what people been saying to you, what have you been saying, what have you heard, who said it, all to investigate and find the why or the person behind whatever shenanigans they think are going on. And the crazy thing, it's usually always them. It's something they did to create an enemy, and that's how it came out that way. Just like every day, that's what they do. Casey Cat, thank you so much. There was also a legally blind student, male, that kept calling ma'am, that was roughed up and not allowed access to his student housing. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. These people are so stupid. Now, see, I got to keep it together. I just want to share this. But the stupidity, I just can't. I can't with them. Julie Denny, thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. I just cannot with them today. I cannot, Scientology. You were just taking it too far. I mean, you always do, you always have. But here's the thing. Here's what's blowing my mind. But it's also the great thing about it. They're doing it in front of the world. They're doing it knowing that a countless number of cameras and live streams are pointed at them and capturing every moment of this. And they're doubling down on it. They're now assaulting elderly people who have nothing to do with the protests. And what happened to that blind student? That's disgusting. If anybody has a video clip of that, can you send it to me at Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com? Because I'm not pissed off enough. Wow, that's crazy. I watched a lot of streams yesterday. Tony and I spent some time in the backyard because we had this crazy warm weather over the weekend, which was fabulous. That's part of what we did some of our member stream about. And we hung out. It was just a beautiful day. And then I was catching up, watching different streams, and then just could not believe what I was seeing, even though I should not be surprised by this, right? I spent 35 years in Scientology. You'd think nothing would surprise me, but it does. It does that they're just doing it in front of the world. That's what's so crazy. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Scientology interrogatory, what that looks like. Back in the day, I had to fill out these things and answer these questions multiple times.
Has anyone told you of any out of tech in the org delivery? If so, who was it? What did they say? Has anyone told you the org was doing something off policy? If so, who was it? What did they say?
We're gonna sec check them.
Yeah, we're gonna sec check them.
Oh my God.
Has anyone exposed a disagreement with international management or chairman of the board, OTC? If so, who was it? Me? It was me. David Brutality is a human trafficker. I'm a proud SP. Do you know of anyone who has expressed a disagreement with the IAS? Yes, me. They rob everybody.
Yes.
Do you know of anyone who's oh yeah, that was the last one. Do you know of anyone who committed a declared who's connected to a declared SP? Me.
Yeah,
I'm
and me.
SP.
And I am. And we're semi-connected.
Has anyone told you?
Do you get that? You see that? That's Scientology in action doing an internal investigation. Did anyone tell you XYZ? Who said it? What was said? When was it said? Did you ever hear that? Blah, 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 blah. Who said it? What was said? When was it said? And then they're going to go back and they're going to go find that person and ask them the same questions and find out the source of it. That's kind of like what they do. And it's even printed on the goldenrod paper. So you got to see that. But it's like, yeah, Scientology, your cult is showing. This, and you know what? That's an example of something that when I was in Scientology, though I found it annoying and didn't like it, did not consider that because I didn't know I was in a cult. I didn't know I was in a cult then. So I didn't consider it to be that odd more because that was my normal. That was my norm. That's how I grew up. Looking at it now with the understanding I have today and the Scientology glasses off, not looking at it through that filter. It is so great seeing that clip like that and how they reacted to it. And this is what I mean by it being so healing to have people never in Scientology be sharing and be here and be supporting and give your take on these things because it's weird. It's weird. And they look at it and they go, oh my God, this is weird. And they're laughing about it. And then I go, oh my gosh, that is weird. It was weird the whole time. We just didn't know. But to look back and see that now, I'm like, yeah, that was weird. That was massively weird. Super weird. Hannah needs to yell. Thank you. No other church preys on the elderly and sick like the Cult of Scientology. Yeah, that seems to be a theme right now, a very disturbing theme. Jen Ben, thank you very much for the super chat. A young girl with MS was made to walk, at least what? I think she's saying was made to walk 3 blocks and then not allowed to enter her dorm, and she was crying. Oh, you cannot. I cannot. All right. Let's take a minute. I'm going to line up this next clip. For anybody who missed that, here it is again. If anybody had any doubt or you wonder whether or not you should get involved, even if it's just supporting people who are protesting, who are here on YouTube, I think all those doubts have fallen away completely. All right. We're going to go to Austin. And this happened the other day with Miss Kim. And there was just so much going on. I should have shared this yesterday, but we're sharing it today. In Austin, well, you're going to see what happens. I'm going to let Miss Kim share her story here. Mrs. Valentine, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you. Let's take a look at this. You guys got to see this.
Look at this crap. Look at this crap. For me, I'm 54 years old, never been arrested in my life. I don't even have a speeding ticket. And I was just saying, having a guard here keeps them from making fake phone calls. I'm not leaving. You can call the cops all you want. And I filmed the whole time. They know it's a lie. I've never even had a freaking speeding ticket. They're not going to arrest me. I'm a grandmother. You really think they're going to put me in jail?
I think that was my favorite part. I'm a grandmother. Grandmas unite. We should start a group. Grandmothers Against Scientology. Grandmothers Against Scientology Abuses. What would that stand for? Grandmothers Against GASA. Grandparents, actually. Grandparents Against Scientology Abuses. It's just too much. Miss Kim doing her thing over there in Austin. A false call got called in there, and all these police show up, go into the building. She's got more to say about it though, and I'm going to share that as well. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this other clip from Miss Kim in Austin.
Do you believe this crap? I'm standing here with a cane. And I purposely didn't bring any weaponry at all. So if they did try to detain me, I wouldn't have.
Did you hear her too? I thought that was so cute. She goes, I purposely didn't bring any weapons at all. You can tell this is Texas. Those people don't mess around. I left my weapons at home. I'm a grandma, but I left my weapons at home just in case. Oh, I just love her spunk.
Have anything. Oh my God. 1, 2, 6 for me? You got to be kidding me. Do you believe this crap? I'm standing here with a cane.
And she is a cane too. That's what's so great about it. Just goes to show it's like so many people from so many different backgrounds are able to come together and protest Scientology. We have people from the First Amendment audit community. We have people from the ex-Scientology community. We have a huge number of those never in Scientology, but who are here for it now. Just coming together, sharing knowledge, working together, and even people with a variety of challenges or disabilities are still able to protest Scientology. There's things that you can do at home as well, reaching out to your local representatives, sharing what happened, sharing these things online, liking the videos, subscribing to the channels. There's so many things that anybody can do to help out, which is the great thing. And that's why I think we're going to see so many people, so many more people coming together on this. Pearl Snappy, she caught, she's just over there in Austin calling them out. Links down below to all these channels. Please go subscribe to them and check out these videos in their entirety, because my little clips I share do not always do them justice. Check this out.
Child trafficking in person. Look at it. Look at them bring those kids in. Kids can't consent. Child auditing is child abuse. Too bad your stupid door's broken. So sad, you idiots. I do not. Look at them.
Oh, that lovely, wicked laugh. It's, you know what I love about, it's just me personally, about Pearl Snappy and all of the protesters like that who are calling Scientology out, is you're standing up to a bully. You're standing up to a bully who we were never, ever allowed to talk back to or stand up to or to question. Oh, okay. This is good to know. Pearl Snappy says the guy was not an F-Sciento. He was showing his kids what it was. We spoke after just to clarify. Okay, that's great. The kids did not seem happy about going in there even before Pearl Snappy said something about it. I'm glad you're out there, girl. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right, let's grab some questions here too. Danny. Hey, Danny. Danny, let's see. Danny says, Chicago police is worse than Los Angeles police, and that's saying something. Coming from me, yesterday was a circus for sure. Yes, Danny was threatened by this one officer. Link down below to the officer's information in case anyone saw it and would like to complain. You can, I'm going to put in the chat, Danny, if you can hop on. I'm going to go through a couple questions, but if you can hop on again, then let's, I have a couple questions for you about what happened yesterday. So let's see. Did I put that in the chat? Yep, I did. So you'll see it. That is a link for Danny. And if you can pop on, you can. I'm going to grab a few questions. Yes, my Tony, thank you for the reminder. Welcome, everybody. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Every time you click the like button, Scientology hates it, which makes me happy. All right, let's see. Gizmo, thank you so much. Natalie, you truly have one of the best channels. I hope my idea for a channel will be as successful as yours. Thank you for the inspiration. Much Gizzy. Yes, do it. Do it, do it, do it, and send me the link. Do it, do it, do it. Peggy, hip, hip, hooray. Thank you for becoming a member. Help from above. Can he sue? I'm not sure. You know what? Depending on which victim, isn't it crazy when we don't even know which victim is being talked about in these videos? But yes, whoever it is, I'm sure, and hopefully they will. Gabriel Badwolf. Well, I love that name. Gabriel Badwolf. I love that. Is there a way we can buy the old man some donuts or something? You know, let's talk to Shannon. Let's find out. Let's find out from Shannon. I think, oh, Danny, your voice is gone. No problem, brother. I do not blame you one bit. We'll catch up later about that. But yeah, I love that idea. We'll have to talk to Shannon. I mean, you know what? I'm pretty sure she exchanged contact information with his family. So that is a great question for Shannon. Chicago Scientology Audit is her channel here on YouTube. Definitely connect with her and find out. I know I'd like to chat with her. I want to give her a hot minute to, I mean, I don't even know how you begin to decompress from that. And I hope she really takes care of herself, because those flare-ups are no joke. And she has been working so hard, her and so many, really wishing her the best. Oh, my butterfly effect says, thanks for the donated membership. Thank you, whoever did that. Yes, B. Leah was on fire yesterday. She had a great view in, and that supportive Leah, that's Danny's partner here on YouTube. You can find her, supportive Leah, and Danny is live_Danny here on YouTube. Make sure you follow both of them. They're living the dream. They are like, as a couple, they have been to the Hollywood protest. They protested at the big blue buildings on L. Ron Hubbard Way. They went out to Austin to protest, and now they went out to Chicago to protest. I love it. I love it. They're making the round. They're getting out there and doing it. I don't blame them at all. We almost need like a way for, like, when you lose your voice, try these things to help. Jen Ben, thank you so much for the super chat. I think that young girl was on Shannon's stream. If I was that girl's mom, I would be carving up. Oh yeah, totally. If anybody knows where that is in Shannon's stream, if you could email me, Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. Thank you as well to everybody who sends me clips, who sends links to videos and timestamps, and tell me what you're seeing. Tell me what you saw. That whole, if you see something, say something. I appreciate it. I can't always get back to everybody, and we try to fit as much as we can into these recaps. I truly appreciate it. It really helps. It's such a team effort, all of you, to make this happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Irrelevant Panda. Yep. Leah and Danny. Totally amazing too. I agree. Maury, I love this idea. I say we should ask Dunkin' Donuts for free donuts for the lovely old man for a month. I love that. You know what? That'd be a great idea. I'm sure Dunkin' Donuts, that location, start with them, would like to hear. You were closed. Scientology paid you off to close. What sounds like one of your favorite, or a very dedicated customer who has there every Sunday, was not allowed to. And here's what happened. He's one of your customers. Take care of him. You know, community. Sherry Wright. Did you see PTS for Life short where a former friend from Scientology reached out and hugged him before the goons came and got her? No, I did see one where a guy, he gave him the book about how to stop smoking, and they had a friendly conversation. That's why I'm always saying, like, is this a Canadian thing? Or I think it's Jeff. Jeff at PTS for Life just has a way of communicating with people and getting them to open up and communicate with him. I would love to see that, though. If somebody has a clip, if you could send it to me, Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. That would be great. I would love to see it. Stephanie, yes, SPTV, we don't lie, we multiply. The reporter proved this. Yes, it is contagious. Activism, standing up to bullies is contagious. And it warms my heart to see so many different types of people coming together. So many different types of people. Because in Scientology, they look down. L. Ron Hubbard said Scientology is to help the able become more able. All right? So they're not trying to help people with disabilities who have challenges. So on a whole nother level, it thrills me to death that Shannon, who battles MS at the same time, is standing up to Scientology, who other people, hey, Carrie Ann in Portland, in her electric chair. Is it called? That sounds funny. Motorized wheelchair. Last time I talked about this, I couldn't remember the right word. But the point is, hey, Carrie Ann is out there doing this. And so many others, so many different people and different types. People who it's just blowing my mind. And I absolutely love seeing this. Scientology is uniting people in a way that I've just not seen done. And I guess if nothing else, we can give them props for that. Hip, hip, hooray, Scientology. You are uniting the masses. You are uniting people who have disagreements in other ways, right? People from different backgrounds, people that you wouldn't think would be getting together or doing things together necessarily, and they are. So Scientology, the big uniter. Oh, it just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Yes, Casey Cat, Leah was our eye in the sky. You guys want to check out her stream. She had an amazing view. Truly an amazing view. I love your Dunkin' Donuts idea. I'm loving this. I am loving this. Thank you so much. Jane Brown, thank you so much for the super chat. It's disgusting that any business accepted a bribe from a cult. Makes you wonder, do they know? Do they know? They're going to know. They're going to know. They're going to know because everybody can see it. And yes, Pearl Snappy says it best. F Sciento. It's just, and they're not going to see this as a Scientology PR fail. You know, somebody in there who has any ounce of being level-headed or any ounce of communicating with the outside world might, but they're not going to say anything because this is what they're being ordered to do. That's the thing. Like Casey Thomas is asking, what's the fallout from this for the members? This seems like a huge PR fiasco. And it's not over. It's not over because these students, these people, all people, but especially the ones with disabilities who were cut off and not allowed to access their own building, that needs to be brought up more and shouted from the rooftops. And I hope those people come forward and make it even more known that Scientology did this, including the elderly man that they roughed up with their hired security. Also, you know what? I didn't even share the clip of Dany being assaulted by a guy who seems to be a private investigator who followed, I think he followed Scientology into a back alley. And then this guy whacks Dany in the face with his door. I mean, just crazy. Just crazy. Yesterday also, so you know, it was a great fundraiser for Miriam Francis. You can still go on my page and multiple other people's channels. Go to the link. There's a link to her PayPal where you can still donate if you'd like. Miriam definitely is going to be able to get the therapy and the treatment that she wanted. And that was so great. It was fun to see so many people coming together in the SPTV community for that fundraiser for Miriam last night. If you missed it, check it out. The video is up on multiple channels and you'll be able to see it. Dinu Free, you just got to go back to the beginning of the video and we talked about Jessica getting swatted in LA. I share a clip of where she shares it herself. Smooth Steve SPTV in New York. The worst video I saw from Chicago from yesterday was the commander literally telling Dany his subordinate police officer is wrong when he told him he has the right to yell. Yes. And this is the guy where there's a link down below to this commander's contact info in Chicago, in the Chicago PD. He told Dany that he would be arrested if he was yelling. Here's what happened. I'll tell you right now what happened. Scientology has their dead agent packs, as they call it, on different protesters, and they provide this to the police. I guarantee you, okay, technically I'm speculating, but based on my experience in Scientology and what we have seen before, Scientology puts together a dead agent pack on a critic or a protester, goes and gives it to the head, the commander, right, in Chicago. with the narrative that this protester is somebody who hates police, somebody who's violent, somebody who just got out of jail, just twisting the story, not sharing the fact that Dany was unlawfully arrested. He was the victim. He was the one who was assaulted. But in true LAPD style, they arrest the victims. So that there's so much there. There's so much there that happened yesterday that we haven't even like gone on with all of it. So they threaten him with arrest if he yells. Dany then comes back and speaks to another officer and says, "Can I yell?" And the officer says, "Yeah, you can yell. You can do that, sure." And then the commander comes over, Commander Harris, I think it is. It's like, "No, you can't. I already told you this." And Dany says, "Well, what about the officer right here just confirmed that I could yell," which he knows is his First Amendment right to do. And Commander Harris said something like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Shutting down the officer who was trying to do the right thing. Gabriel Badwolf, thank you. Back in the day, it was anonymous where we wore masks because we were afraid. Now the masks are off. We're not afraid anymore. But to quote back then, we don't forgive, we don't forget. Expect us. Yes, love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. We are going to see so much more to come about this, about the different protests that are going on, things even behind the scenes. It's not slowing down. It's picking up steam all over the country, even the world, right? We're talking about Canada. We're talking about things that are happening in Perth, across Australia as well. It's just going to be more and more and more. Me and Taz, yes. Hip hip hooray for Miriam. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and saying Columbia College president has a Twitter page. There you go. Lots of questions to be asking Columbia College. And I want to hear, and from these students, just from their perspective, what happened? What did they see? So much more of it's going to keep coming out. All right. So here's what's going to happen today. I'm going to be doing an interview with a gentleman who woke up one day and realized he was in a cult. Was it the Cult of Scientology? No, but close. It was the Cult of Cardone. And if you're not familiar with Grant Cardone, you're going to learn a bit about him this afternoon at 12 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to do this interview and we're going to talk a bit about the Cardone cult and how they're even targeting nonprofits. So we're going to be chatting about that 12 p.m. Central Time. Remember, if you see something, say something, you can email me, natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. I want to thank all of you who are becoming members. It's been a lot of fun working on that. I want to thank every single person who's here, who likes this video, who subscribes, who goes and supports these other creators and the protesters who are out doing this, who takes the time to email, tweet, reach out to whoever it is to raise awareness about what happened yesterday in Chicago, in Austin, in Los Angeles, all over the place. Thank you guys so much for being here. JD Philly, exactly. JD from Philly. This boulder is now rolling downhill and it's not stopping anytime soon. Let's go. I'm going to be here, keep recapping the news on it. I appreciate all of your help and all of you being here. I hope to see you at 12 p.m. Central Time. If you can't catch it live, please catch it on the replay because it's going to be an interesting one. In the meantime, I hope everybody gets out there today and just has the most amazing cult-free day.